Shokoku no o no kanameshi ni fureru. Touch the archstone of the king of the small country. Shokoku is small country, made from those characters. No is a particle that makes a genitive expression. O is king, which we've seen several times before. So, Shokoku no o is king of small country. Kanameshi is archstone, made of important and stone. And Shokoku no o no kanameshi is, working backwards, archstone of the king of the small country. Remember, x no y means y of x. X no y no z is z of y of x. There's no limit of how many of these expressions you can chain together. As we make our way along the King's Passage, we're going to encounter items that we've already picked up, and messages that we've already seen. So while we're still picking up vocabulary words that are entirely new to us, we're also going to start reviewing entire phrases that we see. Shitai o shiraberu. Examine dead body. Shitai is dead body, made up of the character death and body. O is a particle that when it comes after a word indicates that it's the direct object of a verb. And shiraberu is to examine. Eiseki no kakera. Shard of sharpstone. Eiseki is just sharp plus stone, making sharpstone, and that's a fictional word. Susumu. Proceed. This character has what's called the path or road radical wrapping along the bottom and side.
Hello? You yonder! Over here! It's me, Ostrava! Look at me. Again surrounded by evil warriors. Could you, perhaps, help me one last time? Clear out the soldiers at the far end of this passage, if it pleases you. The Lord's Path, just down yonder, has degenerated into a feeding ground for flying dragons. Have your wits about you.
Itai o shiraberu. Examine remains. Itai means remains or corpse. It's made up of bequeath and body. Hangetsu so. Half moon grass. Kawai so. Pitiable. This word is made of the characters able, pity, and think. Kekkon ni fureru. Touch bloodstain. Kekkon is made of the character blood, and the character that means mark or scar. Fureru means to come into contact with. Mikazuki Gusa. Crescent moon grass. So it turns out that there's a real plant that is called Mikazuki Gusa in Japanese. Although if you look at the art for the grass, it's clearly not the same plant. I don't know whether they found a plant called crescent moon grass and said, hey, let's name all our items after phases of the moon. Or maybe it was the other way around and they just thought that it would sound cool to have grasses that were different phases of the moon, and then it just turned out that there was a plant with the same name. But as far as I've been able to find, the other moon grasses are all fictional. Kirikai. Switch. Kirikai is a kun compound, and it's what I sometimes refer to as an accordion compound. Like an accordion can be stretched or compacted, so too can these words be written right next to each other, adjacent with no kana showing, or you can stretch them out and have one or more kana in between them or spilling out of the back. Both of these forms are the same word and mean the same thing. It's just a matter of choice and style whether you use one or the other. Tojiru, close. This character has the gate radical wrapping around the top of it. Ki, tree, or wood. When you see a compound term that consists of ki, tree or wood, and no, it means of a tree or of wood, and is sometimes written ki, sometimes ko. Namonaki Yusha no Soru, soul of a nameless hero. Tairyo, large quantity. This one's easy enough. Large plus quantity makes large quantity. The character for quantity has sun on the top, then just an ordinary horizontal line, and then village underneath it. Remember that when you're looking up characters in a book, it's important to know which one of the different graphemes is the radical. With electronic lookup devices, however, it's not quite as vital. It's still something you should learn, but this character you could search using sun or village, and you'd get the result just as fast either way, although village is considered the proper radical of this character. Kizu, wound. Heishi no Rotosu, soldier's lotus.
Thank you. That makes twice. Thanks to you, I can now forge ahead. This is a token of my gratitude. Please accept it. This is bad. Not a single person left. Why on earth? How did all of this happen? Father! This is bad. How did all of this...
Zekke, gorgeous view. The first character, Zetsu, means to cut off or end. The second character, Kei, means background or scenery. But you'll notice it's not written Zetsu-kei. Often in compounds, when you have a tsu followed by an unvoiced consonant, the tsu gets dropped and the consonant it follows gets doubled and stressed. The character Zetsu has the thread to the left radical. The thread radical is used for literal things like cords, ropes, and strings, but it's also used in a fairly wide variety of different abstract senses. It can be found in expressions dealing with the passage of time, the sequence of certain events, or the connectivity between different concepts. Essentially, anywhere where you could use the term thread in a poetic sense, you'll probably find the thread radical occurring in a similar sense somewhere among the Chinese characters. So the way we get gorgeous view from this is we take zetsu, meaning to cut off, and kei, meaning background or scenery, and we get scenery that cuts you off or interrupts you. Scenery that the sight of which stops you in your tracks.
Ah, we meet again. Fancy that. Hope you find something that suits you. It is the end of Great Boletaria as we know it. But hell, at least the demons don't send us to our deaths in battle. The giant lizard! One of the king's pets, just like those demons. That monster leaves a trail of charred carcasses, which is great for business, of course. But unless you're a scavenger like me, you better stay clear. It is the end of... But hell... Thanks for that.
Fukugo. Composite. Fuku is multiple. Go means to combine or fit. Fuku has the close to the left radical, which is only one stroke away from a very similar radical, the cult or religion radical. Kiri no naka ni hairu. Enter the fog. Kiri is fog. Naka is middle or center. Hairu is to enter. So Kiri no naka is middle of the fog. Ni hairu is enter into. Anzen, safe. An means peaceful. Zen means all or entirely. You'll recognize the woman grapheme in An and the king grapheme in Zen, but the radicals of both these characters are the components on top. Now, there are several different types of radicals that are called lids, covers, and roofs. For now, we're going to call the roof-looking radical on the second character the simple roof, and we're going to call the radical on top of the first character the roof with chimney, or just the chimney radical. Please note that those aren't official names of these radicals, it's just a means of keeping them straight in our minds. Mangetsu So, full moon grass.